How do you do? Good Wednesday morning to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. This is our weather system that's moving toward our region, tracking into the Great Lakes and weakening a bit as it will slide across either northern parts of Vermont, right near the Quebec Vermont border, or take a track a little bit north in the St. Lawrence River Valley. Needless to say, we're going to be in this zone of the precipitation that is rain. Eventually, we're going to see a little bit of this get into the Northeast Kingdom. That is a little bit of wet snow action up around Island Pond, mainly north and east, and into the Allagash of Maine, the backbone of Maine, and up the western Maine mountains, northern parts of New Hampshire, but really limited in terms of what will fall in terms of snow cover. It's mainly going to be a rainstorm, a little wind on the front end, and a little wind on the back end, but right now they both of these the wind gusts on the front end look like they're going to be below thresholds, 30 to 40 miles an hour, and then on the back end 30 to 40 miles per hour, and mostly affecting the southern Green Mountains. With this area of low pressure here, once it departs, it'll power up a bit as it goes into the Canadian Maritimes. Let's take a look at some of the computer modeling. Oh, but before I get to that, I want to show you a very powerful, intense west coast storm that's now tracking across parts of southern Oregon. A lot of strong winds associated with this as well in Southern California. This is a big storm. This will be Sunday storm that'll work in here and bring us some snow. Looking at the ECMWF European model, we can see the west coast system here, and of course our advancing storm system with snow mainly to the north and primarily rain at the southeastern two-thirds of the system. So let's run the model here. This is again the European, so what we can see here is rain roughly getting in here around 3-4 o'clock this afternoon and continuing to overspread the state as steadier rain, and you might notice just a little bit of that, and we'll get a close-up of this here in a second, but this a little bit of wet snow that'll be accruing. This is valid about 03Z or 10 o'clock this 10 p.m. I should say this evening. And then we stay as a little bit of rain into the overnight before we change over to snow around daybreak. And then this scatters out with very light snows on the back edges. And we're not going to see a whole lot going on. Now, notice the pressure gradient here as well. It's tight, but it has been weakening as the elongated kind of trough extends east and west. So that's going to be good news, keeping winds below thresholds. Okay, looking at the HRRR model here, we're going to run the timing on this. It looks like our first precip gets into the southwestern part of the state first. That's going to happen around 4 o'clock. By 4 or 5 o'clock, a lot of the rain is beginning to work itself into the region. And then it encounters a little bit of colder air in the Northeast Kingdom highlands, and you can see a little bit of wet snow accumulation there that kind of moves on out. You can see how close things are. This is valid about 03Z. That would be about 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. this evening. And this is as far as it goes so far, 11 p.m. Again, primarily rain. Kuchera method snow totals. We can see that primarily, as I run the model here, this is the European, and you can see that the snow totals begin to build up. Not especially a lot. This is valid 21Z on Thursday, so that would be Thanksgiving Day at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is what will have fallen in the morning hours. A little bit more snow in the Northeast Kingdom, but not very much really. A little bit over an inch in some spots, up to a couple of inches. And then you're looking at some lighter snowfall amounts that could grease up area roads for Thanksgiving Day morning. Things improve during the afternoon. Okay, now we're looking at wind gusts here, and there's a southeasterly wind that's going to blow along the slopes of the Green Mountains, along the spine and downslope just a little bit. But again, we're talking 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts here. And when you start to see the green, that's valid at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. That would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see the winds are diminishing as time goes on. Now, on the backside of this area of low pressure, we're going to see a little bit of a west to northwesterly wind encounter the southern Green Mountains as the circulation will then have moved on by with the area of low pressure. That counterclockwise circulation now blowing in from the west-northwest, and this will affect the southern Green Mountains. But again, we're talking basically 30 to 40 miles per hour, just a little bit below thresholds. And then it basically decreases, so it's fairly short-lived. And then another flare-up, again below thresholds, or right at threshold. You can see 40 miles per hour just south of the Vermont border here. But overall, not looking too bad in terms of wind. This is valid 15Z. That would be about 10 o'clock Thanksgiving Day, Thursday morning. And then carry that over. That's probably the maximum right there. That would be 16Z or about 11 o'clock in the morning. And we probably have the strongest winds. Again, not that strong. A little bit below thresholds. And then the winds begin to diminish kind of gradually. Pop up and down just a little bit into the early evening before things fall off. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.